Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to continue reading aloud from The Trouble with Antlers, aka Melvin's Rampant Rack. We are reading in chapter 3 today. In our previous chapters, Melvin kind of had a encounter, shall we say, with Amelia the human. So let's find out what happens next. Chapter 3, Gangs. Amelia pulled open the door and slipped inside. The endless stacks of books instantly comforted. She was there to hide from the other students. There was just no other way to say it. The teachers were scary, but the students were downright terrifying. Every last one of them. When she'd shown up for PE, the teacher had refused to let her inside. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, blocking the door. He was so huge he filled the door frame from top to bottom and side to side. My schedule says I have gym." I'm late! A voice squeaked behind her. Turning, Amelia saw a small boy running toward her. Could he possibly be a high schooler? He was seriously only 3 feet tall. He darted around her and barreled into the mammoth teacher blocking the doorway. With a squeal of horror, the kid bounced back toward Amelia, who just barely managed to jump out of the way. "You!" the mammoth roared. "In the locker room now! Dress out this instant, you puny little mole! Naked now!" Amelia's eyes widened. What? They have to play naked? No freaking way was she going to engage in any naked sports. No way, no how. "Don't be absurd," the teacher snapped. "They dress out in clothes, just like everyone else." Clothes? "Go to the office now," he told her. "But Jim?" "You don't need Jim. Just go to the office and tell them to sign you up for art or music or something else that doesn't involve dressing out." So Amelia headed for the office. But something must have happened because the next thing she knew, she was lying down in the nurse's office with an ice pack on her head and a new schedule clutched in her hand. Nurse Polar had fussed over her a bit, then sent her to class where the girl to her left called her a freaky little human 2 seconds before the guy behind her leaned forward and sniffed her hair. She turned and demanded, "Did you just sniff me?" He had the weirdest dye job she'd ever seen. Spiky yellow hair with splotches of brown in it. His eyes matched his hair. Who wore contacts to match their hair? And he smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "I did," he said. He didn't even deny it. "Why?" "You smell like..." He stopped. "Like what?" Amelia demanded. "Pray." And she was done. "Pervert!" Amelia stood, grabbed her book bag, and stalked out of class. And here is a picture of Amelia and the young man in her class as he leans forward and sniffs her hair. It'd just been the very last straw in a really long and disturbing day. So now here she was inside the library, trying to forget the kids who had driven her there. They had to be gang members. An entire school full of gangs. Maybe her dad would agree to move back home if she told him about the freaky boy who sniffed her hair in calculus. She slipped between the stacks of books and headed deeper into the library. It was quiet and smelled just right. Books and more books. She turned a corner and found a small alcove with a couple armchairs and a table. A big burly guy sat in one of the chairs. His long legs were stretched out in front of him, and his head was resting on the back of the chair. She had a weird feeling his eyes would be brown. The guy's eyes opened, and she was right. He focused on her, and his entire body jerked. He slammed both hands to his head and let out a weird-sounding grunt. Great. Not just gang members, but the socially awkward as well. Rolling her eyes, Amelia turned and stalked off down another aisle. A loud clatter sounded behind her. Something heavy had fallen, maybe onto the table or the floor. Whatever, she didn't care. She just wanted to find a quiet corner to wait out the rest of the day. No more freaks today. That's the end of chapter 3. So we will read chapter 4 tomorrow. I hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, have a great afternoon. Bye.